Hey, what's going on? Dan here from Dan Gibson Dating, and in this video I'll share some free info and strategy about the method I use to meet new attractive women every week. I call it the Natural Dating Blueprint. That way when you jump on your call with me, you're armed with some information so you're not going into it blind, and we can have a good conversation about if this is something that can work for you or not. So let's jump into how to start meeting quality women and going on regular new dates per week in as little as 30 days, and why this is the best method to 10x your results and confidence with women and dating so you can find and keep your perfect match. Now, just to show you I'm not making this up and just to show you what is possible, I'll show you some proof. This is Den. He went from being single, stuck at home being unsocial, letting himself go and not going on any dates and feeling miserable, to finding the love of his life in 3 months and building his dream relationship. This is Kyle. He went from wasting time in bars and struggling with dating apps to having naked hot tub parties with young beauties in just a few months, and then finding an awesome girlfriend a little while later. And this is Gary. In 3 months, he went from having the occasional unsuitable woman on an uninspiring, boring date that went nowhere, to getting instant dates from beautiful women he meets in the grocery store, and literally turning his apps off because he's dating multiple younger stunners who perfectly fit in with his current life. So who is this method for? This is for men over 30 who have their health, wealth and interests under control and are looking to start meeting and dating their ideal kind of woman and perfect match who so far has slipped through his fingers. You've probably been focused on your business or your career and you let this area of your life become stale. Or maybe you've been in a long-term relationship or marriage that ended and now you don't know how to get back on the horse. Either way, you know it's time to take dating seriously if you don't want to end up settling, or worse, with a woman that brings you trouble, or even worse, alone for decades. So if you worry about your future with women, then stick around. Now, if you suspect that the feminist movement has made the game harder, you are right. It's not as easy anymore, but you know you want to feel like the man, to have abundance with the right women, and then find one that is respectful, loyal, beautiful, great sex, and one who can take care of you the way you want. But you need a little push, a little guidance and support. And you know once you crack this code, you'll have massive success. You're smart, you're motivated, you're a great catch. You just need the game plan to pull it all together. You're willing to break through walls to make this part of your life happen. Now, it's not your fault this hasn't happened yet. Most dating advice out there requires you to basically dedicate your life to this, to start going to bars 3 nights a week to pick up drunk chicks, or even start the trauma-inducing method of approaching 20 strangers on the street every day, taking at least 2 to 3 hours a day to get some conversations with just a hope for a number, in among a sea of rejections to your face. Now, I'm not saying this is wrong, but if you don't like this or don't have the time, or you agree this is a crazy way to fix your love life, then here's the truth. Nowadays, men can begin their new, joyful experience of going on consistent new dates each week with awesome women that are attracted to you and desire you by leveraging the power of social media and dating apps. However, most men don't know how to even get quality matches, let alone start conversations, spark attraction, close a date, get them attracted on the date, go from the date to sex, and from sex to more dates and relationships, because the ego is in the way. Most men believe they don't need any help, so they never asked anyone to teach them this skill, or the thought of asking for help made them feel inferior in some way. Can you see how backwards this truly is? And I'm the only man dedicated to solving this particular problem for men just like you. For those of you who don't know my name is Dan, and I'm a decade or so ago, I broke up with my fiance, leaving me single, midlife, with a daughter, along with losing investments worth hundreds of thousands. My previous business went down the gurgler, and I wasted nearly 3 traumatic years in family court, battling for the right to even be a dad to my own kid. I was always a guy that didn't do well with women growing up, and from 0 girls then to having my fiance, I thought it was the best I was going to do, and I committed, not realizing the bad times this was going to bring me. It was settling for the wrong woman on an industrial scale. So when we broke up, I was left alone with next to 0 repeatable dating skills, and my self-esteem shattered and into the ground, life in tatters, business into the ground, investments destroyed, years of my life gone I'll never retrieve. I tried to meet new women on my own, but all I got from chicks was either no, or I was friend-zoning myself. I got tired and I made it a mission, my own mission, to master the skill of creating the kind of relationships that I actually wanted with amazing women. I looked everywhere for a strategy that didn't involve shady tactics or having to spend 2 to 3 hours a day talking with women. I decided to take matters into my own hands and run a series of experiments to get good with women, consistent dates, and of course, great sex and new relationships. My strategy worked so well that I started going on new dates with different women, sometimes every other day, all beautiful, and all of them were attracted to me and most wanted more. My friends noticed. When they saw my results with women, started asking me what I did and how I did it. So I decided to help others with the method, and now I've helped over 100 men over the last 4 years. Here's how it works. This is a little flow diagram that I show my clients. As you can see, we start by finding a system for meeting new women consistently, then a system to turn those conversations to numbers and dates, and a system to turning dates into sex and or relationships. Seems simple, but most men don't approach their love life as just another skill and strategy in this way, and they leave it to fate. Men will invest years perfecting a golf swing and learning from the best, yet fail to approach women and dating with the same care, and then wonder why their golf swing is better than their love life. So step 1 is finding a new system for meeting new women consistently. This is like marketing. If you don't have a way of getting new eyes to your product constantly, you'll get little to no sales. This is also true for your love life. If you don't have a way to meet new women consistently, you'll get little to no women. And when you do meet one that is worth it, since you're not constantly speaking with new women and developing your skills, chances are you'll screw it up. Let me tell you a story. My past client Thomas broke up with his wife, became a single dad as well. He was heartbroken at the beginning, but when some time passed, he knew it was time to get back out there or he'll end up alone. First, he tried to find a new woman in his social circle, women at work, friends of friends, and he even tried going out to bars with friends. Most of them were in relationships, but the few that weren't, he was so off his game that he couldn't get much traction with women. Even the few dates he got, he lacked confidence, felt nervous and uncertain how to progress things quickly and smoothly, and without the right skills, he got rejected and felt ashamed. Eventually, he ran out of options in his social circle, so he tried going to clubs and bars to pick up women. And that was a shit show. Drunk chicks, alcohol fucking up his sleep schedule, wasted hours, and a bunch of rejections showed him that this wasn't the way. He even tried online dating, but he got little to no matches and 0 dates. Eventually, he was forced to find a new way of meeting women. So we started working together and I was able to quickly identify the problem. Man, he wasn't getting enough volume of new women into his life. And those that he did get were not the quality he wanted. He needed the volume not only to practice his women's skills, but also to be able to sort through and find the one that he truly connected with. So we went to the easiest, fastest, lowest pressure way to meet new women every day: social media and dating apps. We tuned his profile so he was portraying his best looks, made him an attention-grabbing upgrade, and we created a system for him to swipe women for 20 minutes a day spread out throughout his busy day. Then the matches started coming in, and I gave him an opening system to open conversations with women that was different than the typical, "Hey, how are you?" type of text that all women are getting from 95% of men. And with this simple system, he started getting 3 to 5 new quality matches a day with quality women and 10 to 20 new conversations a week, which then translated to consistent multiple dates each week with new women. Once he started getting his volume of new women every day, he was able to solve both of his main issues. He was able to practice his women's skills consistently, and also he was able to find women that he truly connected with, not to mention having a shitload of fun. With his newfound skills and rapidly increasing confidence, he was able to move things forward with them instead of fucking it up for being nervous. The point is to find a way to have enough volume of new women coming into your life consistently. Once you're meeting new women every day, you can choose the ones you want from abundance instead of having to settle. You usually want to start with a method that is easy, fast, low pressure, low anxiety, and you can make a lot of mistakes without messing your life up, such as online dating. And once you've got an abundance and skills, you can translate that to your social circle and other social activity. Step 2 is to learn how to turn conversations into numbers and dates. This is like playing chess or poker. If you don't understand the mind of the other player and how they think and feel, then you are playing blind and they will wipe you out. If you don't understand how women think and feel and what they need to feel both sexual desire and safety from you, they will never agree to a date with you and you'll just catch ghosts or end up being an attention supply for some four on Tinder who has no intention of ever meeting you. And if you do manage to get a date, she certainly won't be in an attracted state and will just use you for your free lunch. Here I'll share a quick example. Andre was using online dating, and as a good-looking and generally successful guy, even with an average dating profile, he was still getting quite a few matches. But since he didn't know how to talk to women in a way that generated attraction and desire and differentiate himself, he was getting lots of ghosts or having long text chats to nowhere and getting little to no sexual response from women until they eventually got bored and stopped responding. Once we started working together, I showed him how to open new conversations to stand out, then how to combine logical with non-logical sexual communication, which got girls crazy, and then how to close dates in less than 20 messages back and forth. Once he started acting differently than most guys and positioning himself through his texting as a desirable sexual option, women started paying attention. And since he was getting to the date proposal fast on the apps, he was able to get dates each week with new women consistently. Now he's going on cool adventures with some truly amazing and beautiful women. The point here is that if you want dates, you need to have a system to turn matches into conversations and then conversations into dates. Don't be like most guys that validate women for days or weeks. You want to differentiate yourself from every other guy since competition is fearless. And then you want to use effective, non-logical, emotional conversations and close the dates fast and turn as many of your hard-earned quality matches into excited first, second, and third dates as possible and stop burning them and wasting them. This way, you turn your phone into a date machine. Once you're converting matches at a much higher rate, not only will you spend less time on apps getting frustrated, but also more time on awesome dates getting what you actually want. When you're learning these new exciting ways of communicating with women, you also want as much help and feedback as possible to accelerate learning. And this can be done easily by sharing message ideas with experts while analyzing failures. Once you're on track with these new communication methods, the underlying principles can easily start being applied on dates and other face-to-face interactions, which will shoot your outcomes to the moon. Step 3 is knowing how to turn dates into sex and relationships, whether that's finding the one or having multiple casual partners until you choose one from abundance. This is similar to having some excellent building plans from an architect and then knowing how to actually make a house out of it. If all you do is hold the plans and walk around the vacant block, nothing will eventuate. You need to know how to gather building materials and contractors and assemble them all. If all you do is take women on a couple of dates and you don't know how to provide what they're wanting from you, they'll stop investing and start shopping elsewhere. And if one does stick around, they'll be that needy, toxic woman creating chaos and pain in your life, much like the cheap customer who's paying peanuts and always demanding refunds. Take Gary, for example. Even once he started getting more attention from high quality women and even organizing some exciting first dates, he became frustrated that the women lost interest and weren't showing further signs of attraction or desire. We soon discovered through coaching sessions that Gary was treating women as though they were the CEO hiring him for a job. And he was practicing weird business type approaches such as active listening, whatever the hell that is. He wasn't behaving as the sexual polarizing dominant masculine prize he truly is, and failed to tell exciting stories that made women interested about him and his life and the future they might have with him, or take charge of her and lead the interactions and show her that he was a boss with confidence, and avoid putting these pretty young women above himself. This was causing women to lose interest fast. Once we gave Gary the tools, knowledge, and permission that he needed to start behaving like a fun, sexy, desirable man around women, things turned around overnight. Suddenly, women started nearly begging Gary to spend more time with them and going as far as booking rooms in advance with the hope of Gary agreeing to go back there with them for fun adventures. The end of this story is Gary had to close his books for now because he has several young, very attractive women pursuing his time and attention. The point of all this is that if you want all the hard work and energy that you invested, first in getting matches, then organizing exciting first dates that actually go somewhere, if you want that to be rewarded with a fulfilling, fun, and joyful love life the way you want it, with the kind of women you want, then you need a system of behaviors, communication, and touch on dates that drives women wild for you. Women of all ages and types these days simply won't tolerate try-hard, nice guy behavior from men. Women don't need you, but they do need to desire you. By acting like the prize in an attractive way, you'll quickly find yourself having to say no to women and only spending time with the women who actually deserve your gifts as a man. So, as you can see, all you need to do is step 1, build a quality personal online advertising billboard which represents your personal brand in $1 million way to start getting attention onto you from the women you actually want to date. Step 2 is to learn the needs and desires of the women you want to date and communicate with them in a way that generates sexual response and excites them onto dates quickly. And step 3, start behaving around these women in ways that drive desire for you and what you have to offer. And you'll quickly create and attract the exact kind of women in a love life you always wanted. And you can get consistent new dates each week that end up in sex and further relationships in as little as 30 days without wasting nights, days, and money trying to meet women in drunk clubs and shopping malls, and without the distress of getting multiple rejections in your face every day. So, a few caveats here, and I want to be very, very clear. Obviously, you've got to be committed, man. This is not a get-rich-quick type of pathway or a Ponzi scheme at all. This is something where you have to put in the work. But remember, you're building one of the highest value, if not the highest value, skill set that you can for your entire life. So don't look at it as like, oh my gosh, it's going to take me a month or 2 months or 4 months to start really meeting quality women and seeing success with this. Look at it like, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm building this high value skill set. I'm going to put in the work every single day. And at the end of the day, the more work you put in, the more abundant, fulfilling, and joyful your love life is going to be. So last 3 quick things here before your upcoming Zoom conversation with me. Number 1, make sure you show up for the call. I know that might sound obvious, but we don't deal with people that are half in, half out, and who can't follow basic instructions. We rarely give second chances. We're not going to allow someone to show up like that for themselves and then also show up like that for the kind of women that they desire, or the level of quality coaching, training, and support that's available here. It just wouldn't make sense. Number 2 is to review the part of this video about the 3 steps so that you get an overall gist of how it works. If it's not completely clear, don't worry, man. We're going to go over it more in our conversation. And then number 3, show up in a private, quiet place for your call. Make sure Zoom's working in advance, that you've got a power supply, and bring a clean sheet of paper and a pen to take notes. Because, again, if this isn't something that's great for you right now, that's completely fine. We'll have the conversation and we'll tell you what to do next. But at least you'll have the step-by-step action plan that you write down on your sheet of paper so that you can show up in the best way, and at least you can take some notes for that. Enrolling with Dan Gibson Dating will absolutely change your life for the better. The content is absolutely killer. The support, accountability, and attention is better than world-class. The League of Legends of quality men already in the community is incredible. This is the opportunity you want to take on. You're going to feel a real sense of gratitude towards yourself for doing it. So that being said, make sure to set the appointment on your calendar, because if you don't accept the invite, they might not show up there. So make sure you accept that, and we'll see you on the inside for the call. I can't wait to see you there and show you how you can truly change your life in amazing ways permanently. Peace out.